Damage President Trump? Really? The director of national intelligence, John Ratcliffe, raised a lot of eyebrows when he uttered those words, damage Donald Trump. They came during a hastily arranged news conference on election security last week, and they were viewed skeptically, rightfully so. Politico reports that Ratcliffe went off script when he made that allegation against Iran, reporting this, quote, the reference to Trump was not in Ratcliffe's prepared remarks about the foreign election interference, as shown to and signed off by FBI Director Christopher Wray and senior DHS official Chris Krebs, the director of the department's Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Agency. But that wasn't the only place where Ratcliffe went off script. Politico also reports that, quote, he omitted any reference to the Proud Boys during last week's briefing, even though the group was named in his prepared remarks. The report also reveals that Ratcliffe decided earlier in the day on his own to hold a news conference about the spoofed emails, and that the FBI and other agencies joined in so the warning about Iranian and Russian interference would be seen as independent and apolitical. But it didn't exactly work out that way. We're back with Donna, Nick, and Frank. Frank, I've got to say, I heard those remarks and talked to people familiar with the FBI and the intel who thought that it sounded like a needle running across a record when he said that nobody thought that was what the intelligence said. How does that end up coming out of the mouth of the country's DNI?
Well, because he's not a legitimate intelligence professional. He's lost all credibility, and that performance that night has really led to the place we're at, which is if we have kind of an ugly season coming up with this election, he will not have any credibility. If he attempts to get to a podium and tell us what's going on with election results or foreign meddling, I don't want to see him. I don't want to hear him. The other thing, he did was he downplayed that night. He downplayed the role of Russia. He emphasized the role of Iran. And then the other thing that got me, because of where I come from, is because he hijacked the FBI building for that press conference. I don't know if you realize it, but the location of that was FBI headquarters with the big FBI seal behind it. When I see that, with my 25 years in, and someone essentially just muddling the truth during all of that, it just hits me in the gut.
Well, Frank, let's stay on the hijacking theme, because this was an event that was notified to the press that cover the FBI by the White House press office, which I worked in the White House press office. I worked in that office for 6 years. Not even after 9/11 did I notice FBI briefings. And that was when the executive branch was really working in a united way to respond to the attacks of 9/11. But White House briefings were White House briefings, and FBI briefings were FBI briefings. And certainly Robert Mueller had occasion to be at the White House. But just talk about how weird it would be for Donald Trump's press office to put out the notice for an FBI briefing.
You raise a great point, because what it hints at is prior knowledge of the tone and approach the DNI was going to take with this, which means the DNI likely coordinated his approach with the White House, and they may have actually intervened in shaping the actual verbiage in what happened that night. Look, Ratcliffe is the guy at work that we've all had sometimes where you think you've got everything, the group agrees on something, he sneaks off to the boss, and then boom, there's this surprise, and he feigns ignorance. Oh, didn't I tell you that I was going to do it that way? It didn't sit well with career professionals. I'm sure it didn't sit well with anybody at FBI headquarters. And again, we're going to learn truths after this election is over. Whenever President Trump eventually leaves office, we're going to see documents of first drafts and second drafts of this press conference and other things, and it's going to just curl our hair as to what was twisted, what was exploited, and what really happened.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me, or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.